When you open it up, you have a couple of things to look for. One, of course, your Havana chevron, which we're terribly bored of by now, and your Siri Medaille D'Ors. Basically, a little phrase about the cigar. Funny how this is in English and everything else is not, but it always has been, so I guess they just keep it that way. These cigars have been hand-rolled in Havana by expert cigar makers and are made exclusively from the highest quality Vuelta Abajo leaf. Their perfect mildness and fragrance will delight even the most discerning of cigar connoisseurs. This is on all Medaille D'Ors boxes, and again, is stamped in, not just stamped on. It's actually engraved into the wood. Very high quality, very nice. Oh, the smell is coming out. Wow. So you have wax paper that's basically under the cigars in two directions, front and back, side to side, which folds over like so. See, there are lots of things to look for to make sure these are real. You may notice one cigar is missing. Unfortunately, I was obliged to give someone a cigar before I could shoot this video. A promise is a promise. Anyway, you have your wax paper, okay, like so, and then you have that ribbon. That ribbon, like many other brands, has the name printed on it, Medaille D'Ors, and the Vitola, number 2, and on either side, La Gloria Cubana, handmade in red. That ribbon should definitely be there, okay? This ribbon is a checkpoint, a big one, okay? La Gloria's without it, there's a problem. And notice also that the La Gloria Cubana boxes, being that they're in the 858 format in this varnished dress box, there is no cedar, okay? No cedar, and the box itself is actually plywood with cedar veneer. So there's no cedar with a notch or anything like that to look for, and that is the way it's supposed to be. So if we just put this down, let's see, and you take a cigar out, because I want to show you something now. Pick any cigar, whatever's easy to grab. Number one, the cigar is very smooth, okay, very nice looking. Of course, you have your triple caps, as always. You can see them from there on the camera, and to be able to see it in this camera, they're really pronounced. Okay, we look at the foot. Nice bunching. Nice bunching. I actually have a couple of better examples, but you can see the way that's rolled, folded, and bunched very nicely. What a sweet smell. Very, very nice. Now, what we were talking about before was the bands, the fact that these dies were never changed, the fact that the Medaille D'Ors do not use the new bands produced for special editions. They probably will change that. They probably will move the new bands onto these at some point. But this cigar still uses the old La Gloria band, which has never changed over the years. And if you look at it closely, hard to tell on this camera, but there are a few things that you would say, oh, it's fake, it's fake. Well, it's not fake. First of all, you still have the metals engraved. Not highly pronounced, but enough that you can tell what they are. The ropes are engraved, you can see them. The ring around the picture is not individual dots, but it's just kind of, they are dots, but they're all connected. Okay? One way to tell that it's not fake is that the lines don't go crazy and come out onto the picture like some of the fakes do. And the lines on these La Glorias are really harder to produce than the regular ones because they're not those thin, straight lines you see on the new bands. They're thicker, and they're not perfectly straight. You know, the last one is not straight with the gold. It kind of comes up at a small angle here. And if you look at the picture of the Gloria Cubana band on Cuban Cigar website, you'll see exactly the same thing. It's almost like the printer makes nothing but these bands, and if you got a band with perfect straight thin lines, it's not the real deal, unless of course you're talking about a special edition. These lines should be thick. Another funny thing about the Medaille D'Ors, and this is on all of them, and this is another way to tell if you got a real Medaille D'Ors or not, the lines are slightly visible through the metals. Okay? This is probably because the dye that they're using is so old, you know, that you can see the red lines. Or maybe it's the process. Maybe they use the same, maybe they put the embossing and then they put the red lines, but it's hard to see on the camera. Right over here especially, you can really see that the lines are kind of pronounced through, you can see them through the metal. Okay? That's okay. This is one of those things I'm telling you, don't freak out. Medaille D'Ors bands are very strange like that. Okay? Basically, they should be cut off, and there's a white thing here, not oval, straight, with no printing on it. And that's it. It's the real deal. You want to look for detail in the cape, a lot of folds. You want to look that the feather and the cape all match. They're all red, the lipstick. The gold, she has gold bangles. She has a gold crown. And on this band, even though everything else is pretty funky, those are very detailed and very pronounced. So we can see very well that that's the real thing. Okay. Here's a nice, look at that. Nice bunching. No stems. Okay. Pliable. Okay. Yet not overly so, not soft. Nicely rolled, nicely packed. And they really smell unbelievable. They have that funky Cuban tobacco smell, but a sweetness to them that's just indescribable, especially because there's no cedar. Usually that cedar sheet will give them this cedary smell. You can, if we go back to the D4s and you open them, you get a lot of cedar on top of that Cuban smell. But these just smell unbelievable on their own. It's amazing tobacco can smell like this. It really is. I wish you could smell this right now. Maybe in the future we'll have something like that. Imagine the pranks people would pull on it. I want to talk about it. Unbelievable cigar. What a roll. Look at that. Okay? Now, what we're going to do today, we have a few other things. I told you we got the other box of Medaille D'Ors from, these are the real ones from cigar1.com. We have the other box of Medaille D'Ors from cigarsofcuba.com. Remember, cigars-of-cuba.com, not Cigars of Cuba, one word. Alright, so we're going to look at that box and compare it to this box. This is number 2s. Those are going to be number 4s. We're going to open that up right away. And after that, I'm going to take a lot of pictures and start posting these reviews on the website. It's a beautiful day out. So guess what? I'm going to take some pictures, and while I do, I'm going to light one of these babies up. It's 1 o'clock. It's sunny. It's nice. Nice, mild cigar. Haven't eaten anything yet, so it's just the perfect thing. And I'm going to tell you how it was. So be sure to start visiting DrJoeShow.com. A lot of it's going to be these same videos you see on YouTube, but there'll be a lot of other stuff too. Plus, like I told you, we have another guy, a great friend of mine, working on the site, and he's doing some reviews as well. For those of you interested in cigars from other regions, he's doing those reviews and reviews on Cuban cigars as well. So let's get to that other box.